Morning, Caitriona. Reenee-Jee and I are here to do your balance this morning. So we'll just sort of work through more of the survival stuff if it shows up. We'll really stack in those nerves around the legs. I sent you through a bioresonance this morning that was to do with all the nerves that are jammed, in your body. So I hope you got that one. And how many chromosomes are linked in as well. So we've really got to get that repair action going on in those chromosomes and those genes as well, because you can imagine it starts with the emotional gear, and then we end up with the symptoms from the emotional gear, and then the physicality of that that physicality kicks in and starts affecting our genes, our chromosomes, our ability to repair. So let's get into it. Okay. I'm now 100% Caitriona. I'm now 100% Caitriona. We've both got our tights on today.
Fitting for today.
Okay. Is the higher self happy to work on anything, any and all stuff associated with Caitriona's history? Yes. Okay. Is there anything we need to avoid? No. Beautiful. So we're happy to get started? Yes. Okay, so what do we need to do? Where do we need to start? All right, we need to stack in something structural first. Okay, so I'm going to put in some Bowen technique moves behind the legs, to get the musculature that's connecting to the nervous system, as well as the outside of the legs. So I'll check those femurs again as well. Yeah, and I'll put in that quadratus lumborum in the lower back to make sure that's online, and the fascia lata. Yeah, so I'll do a whole bunch of pelvic support muscles as well as some musculature of the legs, because if all of that isn't supporting it, the nerves going down the legs aren't going to be awesome. Okay. So with Bowen technique, it's sort of like the spindle cells in kinesiology, where we're trying to, where we're doing our push to mush and seeing if it unlocks, and our lengthen to strengthen to see if it locks. It's a similar thing. We're sort of waking up a whole bunch of those spindle cells we're waking up a bunch of those spindle cells in the legs. I'm just stacking that in.
That's all through all the muscles.
Like yeah.
Each fibre. Spindle cells.
Yeah, right. Yeah, spindle cells are everywhere. And like I said in our class this week, Dr. David Nixon reckons it must be something other than spindle cells. So he's thinking it may or may not be the structured water in muscles. So structured water is about the vitality of water that's in the body. Now, that's not what I've learned, but because he's a scientist, that's his current theory, which is very interesting. And my brain these days is, of course, question everything. So I'm happy to go along with that. And I'll have to, I don't know how to play around with that. I drink structured water all the time. So he actually had these little, there's things you can get to make your water structured. There's things that you can put into your glasses. There's things that you can put your water bottles on to allow them to be structured. Wakes up and energizes the water so that when we drink it, it becomes so much more available to our cells. Anyway, I think he's seen me work, and he reckons it works too fast for the spindle cells. So I've gone, well, I just do what I do. Okay, so we've got that in. Oh, let's get those fascia latas in. Hold up for me. Hold up for me. Okay. So they're not optimal. And then we'll get the quadratus lumborum in the lower spine. And hold out for me. And hold out for me. Yeah, negatory Batman.
Sorry.
Just not a lot going on there. And hold up for me. Okay, so that's the pectineus is okay. Hold. That's the psoas is okay. That's okay. The iliacus. Hold. Hold. Okay, so the pelvic floor, you know that actually it's not, let me check the pelvic floor as well. So those are the 3 muscles each side for the kidney meridian. Actually, I will just grab the bladder meridian muscle as well. So it's the perineus. So hold the toe there, Reenee-Jee, don't let me pull down. Oh, that's not optimal. And hold up. Right. So the perineus muscle runs all the way along the side of the leg and it hooks in at the bottom of the feet. So that little muscle down there isn't working very well.
Bladder. Is that it?
Yeah, bladder. And it's externalized fear and anxiety, which when we've had a neurological issue for a long time, it's easy to see where that can come from, and especially when there's trauma and abuse and things in the past. Just stacking in your knees. The knees are about moving forwards. What else do we need to get in there? Okay, so there's some muscles on the inside of the legs. The pectineus is one, but they showed up on okay. So they're in the upper part of the adductors. So firstly, I'll do the whole level of the adductors. So hold in on the right for me. That's good. Hold in on the left for me. That's good. I'll check gracilis. So I'm turning the foot inwards. Hold in on the right. Okay. Hold in on the left. Okay. So the gracilis is a little skinny muscle that attaches from the inside of the leg down to the knee. It's a long skinny muscle that's a supportive muscle for the leg. And that core, that the body's core. So I'll check another one called the sartorius, runs from the outside of the hip down to the inside of the leg. And hold. Oh, no. Hold. Now that, oh, okay, so it's okay on the left, but it's not locking on the right. Sartorius is about the adrenal gland, so it's another adrenal gland muscle, but it's unlocking, so there's exhaustion in there. On the right side, yeah. We haven't done quadratus lumborum yet, have we? So holding on to the edges of the table.
No, we did.
Did we?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So. Right, so now we need to do something electrical. No, higher than that, we need to go spiritual to start with. Right, so there's an energy. Yeah. So there's an energy drain happening. So let's go have a look what shows up there. It's not specifically energy fields. Ah, okay. Okay, so releasing energetic attachments. The numbers in these books are always really out of whack. So. Oh, this is beautiful. Okay, so my chakras, meridians, light bodies, and templates are in perfect alignment. My chakras, meridians, light bodies, and templates are in perfect alignment. I love that. Hold. So it's an unlock. Is it a first or a third stage stress? So push to mush, hold. Okay, so it's third stage stress. Can I add in a second one? No. So I just need to clear that one first. So I'll put those affirmations aside. So where do we need to go? We need to balance your 13th chakra. Okay, so it's the combination of the mandible and the pineal gland. So the mandible in the jaw. And of course, our mandible gets tight when we're constantly defensive and trying to protect ourselves. Because when we grind down our jaw, we're tightening all of the muscles in our body to keep us safe. So mandible and pineal gland. And the pineal gland sits all the way underneath your brain, and there's sort of like a connection between it and your spinal cord. So when the pineal gland isn't optimal and your mandible isn't optimal, like that whole area is compressing. That's not going to be allowing really good energy up and down your spine. Yeah, I'm getting quite throaty. I'm getting throaty at the moment. But this is the I choose to be meridian. It's the I am that God-like within. So it's that sort of energy connects us to our pure higher self. Yeah, and it governs all beginnings and endings. It's I choose to be. I choose to be healthy. I choose to be pain-free. I choose to acknowledge the God within. I choose to acknowledge my higher self. And hold, let's see where that meridian is. So it's first or third stage stress. Okay, so this one's only first stage stress. Okay, where do we need to go from here? We need a tuning fork combination. Okay, so lung energy. Oh, double lung. Yeah, right. Interesting. So lung is the internalized grief, guilt, regret. It's the metal element in Chinese medicine. I've only got one lung tuning fork, so I'm going to ask for a second. Actually, I do have another one.
Yeah, you do. I thought I saw it there.
Funny. Haven't used these in a long time. There it is. That's funny.
And remember, I'm using one of your sets too.
Yeah, that's cool. Now my affirmations.
You chucked it somewhere.
No, different one. Oh, actually, let me ask. Should I use the affirmations from the tuning fork book, or should I use the affirmations for the... No, we can use the energy fields. Okay. I've never done that. There's a lot of I've never done. I like that. Okay. Yeah, right. And there's a couple of extra affirmations I can do through this little process as well. So we're going to work down the lung meridians. I'm going to go in through here for your pineal gland, but I'm also going to try to calm down the nervous system going in through both sides of the brain. My chakras, meridians, light bodies and templates are in perfect alignment. I allow the energy to flow through me unobstructed. My energy fields are full of light. I am always safe. My chakras, meridians, light bodies and templates are in perfect alignment. I allow the energy to flow through me and around me unobstructed. My energy fields are full of light. I am always safe.
I feel like Katie received that.
Yeah, beautiful. My chakras, meridians, light bodies and templates are in perfect alignment. I allow the energy to flow through me and around me unobstructed. My energy fields are full of light. I am always safe. And hold. Okay, so it's second stage stress or balanced. And hold. Nope, that one's balanced. Let's go and have a look at that 13th chakra combination. So I need the finger mode for it. Finger mode with the mandible, with the pineal gland. I am. I choose. I choose to be. I choose to acknowledge the God energy within. I choose to accept and acknowledge my higher self. And hold. Okay, so second stage stress or balanced. Hold. Okay, so this one's second stage stress, so we need something else. So let's have another look. We need to do the celestial circuit. And hold, okay. And hold. So the celestial circuit is in third stage stress. It's the feminine side that's out, so it's the caring. Okay. So it's in the past. It's about beside you. So it's one of those I'm beside myself energies. So it's almost like you're living in the past beside yourself. So it's just not recentering in that little CV6, the Dantian, you know, two bin below the belly button. So let's just calm this energy down. Actually, I might also send you, I was just sitting here looking at my chart over there on the wall, which you can't get anymore, by the way. So because the stuff is going on around your legs, there's a whole bunch of emotional gear connected to bones. Like each individual bone has got like an emotional connection and it's different on the left to on the right. So I'll send you those for your lower back and your legs as well. So let's go back and check that celestial circuit, see where it's sitting. And hold. Okay, so first or second stage stress or balanced. And hold. Oh, okay, so that's come back into balance beautifully. Let's check your dantian. Make sure your center of gravity is sitting in the body where it needs to be. And hold. Lovely. Okay, so we're back in center. So when we're beside ourselves, our organs are all here and our pain is all here. But if our meridians, auras, chakras are beside ourselves, they're not feeding our energy to our body properly. So that's why centering our nervous system, centering our meridians, chakras, making sure our dantian is in place, why it can make such a beautiful difference. Let me just check something else in there. There's a few points up the spine that are connected to the celestial circuit. I don't check them very often, but because we've got big nervous system issues, I just wouldn't mind going and checking them. And hold. First one's okay. Hold. Okay, second one. Not sure what it means. Let me have a look.
I didn't feel
It's been a while.
Yeah.
You could feel that one?
That wasn't going to work.
Yeah, it's called the 3 floating pillars. Yeah, okay. So this one is about, it's a deep touch where basically it's really messing up with glands, chakras. So it's a connection between a gland and a chakra and an organ. So we need to go find out what that little connection is. So once again, I'll just stack that in. So once again, there's a connection here that's connecting to your pineal gland. Is there an organ? Liver energy, okay. And a gland, an area of the body for a gland. Yeah, the adrenals. On the left, funnily enough, okay. Hold out for me. Fear, threat, danger in there in relation to this combination. And when these points along the spine show up after the celestial circuit, it's often about something that's still messing with our core sense of self. Something has taken away our core sense of self in life, and we just haven't quite got back there. It's like our confidence can be at 100%, 99% of the time, but then something will knock it out from underneath us and we go, whoa, that's big. And for you, I know you've worked on yourself so much, it could just purely be the pain keeps taking away your energy or your confidence or your ability to get through. Once again, I'll stack in. Once again, I'm 100% Caitriona. Okay. And the chakra combo that's showing up now is the throat and base simultaneously. Okay, so let's go back in there and recheck that governing point and hold. Yeah, that's beautiful. Feels nice and solid. And let's just double check the Dantian, make sure it hasn't moved. Excellent. Okay. 13th chakra. Beautiful. So 13th chakra is now solidly in place. Dantian is now solidly in place. Do we need to do more in relation to the muscular? Yeah, okay. So we haven't done enough work to balance all the musculature that showed up. Fair enough. Okay, so now. Yeah, right. So your flexor hallucis longus are fine, saying my adrenals are cool, but the brevis, so the perineus brevis is showing up. Just checking around your ankles, they're fine. Foot proprioceptors are pretty good, not 100%. So we'll switch on those foot proprioceptors at the bottom of the feet. Get them talking to 600 muscles in your body. Twist and pull each of your little toes. Crackety crack, crack, crack.
Once she gets some gel, it might be nice to have.
Yeah, right. When your Renew 28 gel arrives, it might be nice to use that on your foot proprioceptors, really wake up that neurology in your feet. And obviously around that pain area with the numbness. Yeah, right, it's quite tender up in there. Those are those neurolymphatics at the top of the feet. So when they're tender, it's that sign that our lymphatics just aren't taking the toxins away. How have your fingers and toes lasted since Thailand? Your nails?
Yeah, quite fine.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, right, nice.
My nails are just growing.
Yeah, beautiful. Breathe in, breathe out and push. And breathe in, breathe out and push. So this is the perineus brevis. Breathe in, breathe out and push. And hold, and hold. So yeah, whatever I just stacked in there in relation to your foot proprioceptors, your ankles, your perineus brevis, and the perineus relates to the bladder meridian, so that's externalized fear and anxiety, has popped out. We've just found a pain and punishment circuit in your amygdala. So I suspect soon your body's going to be asking for the survival, deep survival, hidden deep survival. So once again, hold, hold. Beautiful. Actually, I might put the compression in, you know, so like we've done in our classes, you know, compression into the hips and then pulling away from the hips. So we're getting any and all issues with the proprioceptors in the joints. That might be out of whack as well because of the long-term pain. So compressing, extension, compression, extension. Once again, I'll throw the amygdala in there. Yeah, right, your brain went, I want to run away from that. Went into escape, submission, freeze around that energy. Not the Reenee-Jee energy.
What does the compression index look like?
So we've got, there's a whole bunch of proprioceptors in joints as well. Yeah, so it's about activating the proprioceptors on both compression, which is standing, as well as when it gets lengthened, you know, so does it actually like it or does it not like it? And it put it in, it didn't like it. It went into escape mode. Right, so now your body wants to go into the survival stuff. So survival switching, that one's okay. Deep survival, not so good. And hidden deep survival, definitely not so good. So we've got deep survival and hidden deep survival in relation to everything we've got on so far. Okay, so the periventricular survival system is around sensory input. So just feel that nerve pain. Just feel that and feel what it, on the scale of 1 to 10, where's it at? Caitriona? Then I'm going to irritate your auditory system. So get that irritation going with noise and see how well your brain works. Say your full name. What's your date of birth? What's the biggest thing that irritates you at the moment? Hold. Yeah, body doesn't like that. Now I'm going to put the sympathetic, I'm going to activate the adrenals as well by bringing colour all the way towards your eyes. So we're trying to take light out of the equation. It makes the pupils large, so it activates the adrenals. And hold. Yep, doesn't like that. Yeah, right, and I'll just jolt the body as well, just for fun.
For you.
For me. For me. And hold. No, so we've got a lot of sensory input there now. I do love my job. Okay, so is there anything else we need in relation to sensory input? No. Okay, so let's go have a play and find where we need to go. So the first area showing up is the anterior cingulate gyrus. That's the one that picks on you for not being perfect under stress. And hold out. And hold up. So it's the one that makes us have compulsions. You know, so I must do this before I do this, because if I don't do that, then I will feel like this. So our nervous system puts these barriers in place all the time so that we don't do something where we can get hurt, where we can be damaged, where we can put ourselves in harm's way. And of course in Ireland, it's all the tigers running around that we've got to run away from. So yeah, that's fear, threat, danger. You still warm enough?
Yeah, it's just my
Okay, the next little area showing up is the orbitofrontal cortex. This is one that has that 6-second loop in the brain. So it's like a little cortex that hangs just in underneath the logical and creative hemispheres of the brain, and it's waiting for a logical, creative solution. Oh, I don't think we'll have time today. Actually, let me check where your logic and creative is. Like, there's a way of working out what dominant eye you've got, by the way. So put a little space between your fingers. Put a little space between your fingers and then pull it back towards your eyes. One of the eyes will turn off deliberately. So I'm right eye dominant. This has nothing to do with Freemasons or anything. So it's sort of, yeah, one of the eyes will switch itself off. If you end up here, you just need to basically like focus in there and see which one switches itself off. So we don't see through here, most of us don't. So it should go to either your left or your right eye as your dominant one. But then I'm going to get you to pop 2 fingers behind your left ear. Okay, now, 8 times 4, hold. Okay, imagine a purple elephant. Put it on red roller skates. And I was going to say, imagine it pooping in the river. Yeah, and hold. Okay, so on the left side of the brain, the visualization is locking, the maths is unlocking. So at the moment you've got gestalt, creativity, running your left side of the brain instead of logic. So that's a bit flipped. But you might be left-handed, and if you're a true left-handed, that's normal. But only about 3% of people who are left-handed are actually true left-handed people. So then the next one, I need this one again. So 2 fingers and pop it behind your right ear. So we're accessing rip and lip, the left integrative point and the right integrative point in there. So now I want you to think about, okay, so 9 times 9 minus 12 plus 4. Hold. No. Okay. So now I want you to imagine a red tricycle with some cute little kid riding on it. And he's just enjoying himself in the background. Hold. Beautiful. Okay, so you've got double gestalt running in your brain at the moment. Now, not that that particularly has anything to do with your pain in your right leg, but if we don't have that logical and creative hemispheres up and running in the correct hemisphere, then your nervous system might be doing something weird, taking energy from your brain to your body. So let's just go sort that little guy out as part of our survival patterns as well. So I'll start again and see if anything else jumps up. I mean, I have only 4 nuclei in, so. Okay, so in relation to that, we again need the anterior cingulate gyrus that showed up before. So, because we've got more stuff online. CV21, Kitty 27s. And hold. And hold. Okay. So your brain goes into escape, submission, freeze again in relation to the anterior cingulate gyrus, in relation to being double gestalt. So gestalt is about creativity, it's about the emotional gear, it's about big picture stuff. So for whatever reason, your brain is escaping from logic. Now, it doesn't mean anything. We can do anything in our brain with anything we've got. Some things just are a little bit harder to function in the brain without it. So it'll just help your brain function that little bit faster in relation to some things. Okay, so now we're back to the orbitofrontal cortex, which is where I went off on my little double gestalt tangent. So, limbic CV 13, 15. Okay, so this is the, yeah. Hold out. Okay. So this is the little nuclei, the orbitofrontal cortex, which is to do with, it's about conflict. It's conflict. Should I say that? Should I not say that? Will I? Won't I? Hate them, love them. You know, it's real conflict in the brain where even when we make a decision, the brain keeps the information in our brain for longer because it's waiting for creative and logical input. That's why I put those in there, because we need creative and logical input. Right, I knew there was a reason. Anyway, so I knew there was a reason. But yeah, so if you can't get that logical and creative input, your brain keeps the thoughts going around and around and around and around in your head. So it's harder to resolve things.
So you just did with yourself.
You yeah.
Just resolved it.
I just resolved it. Why did I put that in there? Yes, you can see I'm literally living in the moment. What was I doing 3 seconds ago? Yeah, funny. Okay, now the next little area showing up is the subclossal gyrus. And hold out. And hold up. Okay, so this one's to do with the genetic stuff that actually all three of these nuclei, the anterior cingulate gyrus, the orbitofrontal cortex, and the subclossal gyrus, all three of them are to do with up to 7 generations of how we cope with stress. This next one is that big spectrum between anger and depression. It's a big spectrum. It's everything in between. So there's fear, threat, danger in there. And this area is quite often, it's the part of the brain that makes us suppress anger so we don't feel it. And when we suppress anger, disease happens. So for some people, it's well worthwhile doing things like defensive driving courses or boxing or going to a shooting ranch or playing some sort of sport where it's quite physical. And I know that's challenging, but finding something that you can do that gets some of that excess energy. The Chinese call it excess qi, which I think is a really lovely way to describe anger and frustration. Okay, so now it's not asking me to go up into any generational lines at the moment, so I'll leave that for today. It's just not saying that it's it wouldn't be beneficial, or it just wouldn't add that much more to the balance, which is fine. So the next little area showing up is the reticular activating system. If you can remember, Katie, can you add that little finger mode to our group? So it's 2 fingers on the base of the hand. I think that's actually negative entities, that sort of thing. So that's part of why it's in my circuitry all the time. I stack it in all the time, but I keep forgetting what it is in my training. So if you can write that down, that'd be great. So with this circuit at the moment, there's low serotonin creating vigilance in the nervous system. And once again, we've got this logic gestalt thing going on as part of this circuit. So once again, it doesn't mean that you can't think logically. It's not about that. It's about if we don't have logic running as the core thing in your left hemisphere of your brain, when you're trying to do something logical, because there'll be some in there, we all have, everything's everywhere, but it means that when you're trying to do something logical, your brain will go, oh, it's not here in the left hemisphere, so I'll go over to the other side of the brain and try to find the logic, and then I'll go back and try to find it. So it's like your brain can spend like an extra 1/600th of a second going to try to find that function. And then it does it anyway, but it just means it slows down those little functions that little bit.
more deeper than just the switching.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Yeah, these are the nuclei that cause the switching.
Mm.
So yeah, you can imagine, like in these little switching points that we do, they are like a real basic level.
Yeah.
And it works. You do it all the time. It keeps bringing your body back into balance. If you just do that deep hidden survival switching, deep survival, hidden deep, that's getting a little bit deeper. You go into all these nuclei and you get that logical gestalt online. It's a bit deeper again.
Yeah.
Okay, there's another reticular activating circuit. Yeah, so this one's noradrenaline, the expectation of long-term stress. And this time it's with the kidney ones. So that combination is about the long-term stress means you're always going to pay attention to everything that could go wrong. So it doesn't allow you easily to relax, be carefree, and just be happy. Because it's going, no, 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 no. Something bad's going to happen. And once again, we can consciously get over that by being positive human beings, but it's just harder. It takes more nervous energy to do that. And the last thing you need is more nervous energy being taken away from you. Oh, and once again, the thing that I love about those redox molecules for you is that one of the things that really struck home for me overseas was the fact that the molecules are so tiny, they require absolutely no lock and key to get into any cell in the body. So it means they easily cross the blood-brain barrier. They easily get into bone. They easily get into muscles. They easily get into the nerves.
Absorption, hey?
The absorption is just, and when we're swishing it around in our mouth for that 10-15 seconds, because within those cells, you can be switching on your genetic potential so that the genes will activate in the ways for anti-aging and pro-detoxification and anti-inflammatory. Sort of the way I've always thought of sulforaphane, because sulforaphane, which is it's in the broccoli family, it's sort of broccoli sprouts and cauliflower wasabi. It's why that family is so powerful for us. And there's thousands of studies done on sulforaphane as an anti-cancer tool and as an anti-inflammatory tool. And now I'm wondering, because I don't know, whether or not you need a lock and key to get the sulforaphane into different areas. So, that's the sort of thing I want to ask their science team, because I can't help myself. I need to make a list. Okay, so the PVSS is showing up as clear. Let me go over the page. There's just a few more things I want to do in relation to that logic creative, logic gestalt. Yeah, saying we need to do something else in relation to that. So some psychological reversal. Want, need, think, safe, believe, deserve, trust, deserve. Deserve. Okay. I deserve to let go of this problem. Hold. I deserve to keep this problem. Hold. Okay. Yeah. So you can imagine when we feel like we deserve to keep something, it's often because of a really low frequency like shame or blame or guilt or something like that. It's something where we have taken on, usually it's to do with something we've taken on from someone else that often has no basis of truth within ourselves, but it's what we've been told so much we start to believe it. It's like Julia Roberts in Pretty Woman. The bad stuff is easier to believe. So it's about just acknowledging that, and sort of going, okay, interesting. I deserve to let go of this problem. Let me see if there's a flower essence we can use here. So the flower essence is lichen, which I don't know very well. It's one from, funnily enough, in Australia it's called a research essence. That's what I still call it after 28 years. Because when I was training, he had these extra flower essences that were in their research phase. But I'd say 20 years on, or 28 years on, they're probably well and truly sorted, but I still call them that. So, oh, for goodness sake. Just hold on one sec. Really? Well, that's bizarre. I am having no luck getting a hold of that. Obviously, we're not meant to know about it. Weird. I can't access the computer. It's gone weird. Anyway, all good. And I used to have a big pile of information there, but that's gone too.
It wasn't in your bushfire book.
No, no. Okay, so let me just have a look. Right, we need 1 drop on your third eye, and we need 4 drops under your tongue. Beautiful. Okay, so let's just check survival switching. Deep survival. Hidden deep survival. I deserve to let go of this problem. I deserve to let go of this problem. Hold. I deserve to keep this problem. And hold. No, so the brain doesn't agree. So that's awesome. Okay, so 2 fingers behind the left ear again. Okay, so 7 times 7 minus 11 plus 3. And hold. Right, so now we're locking with logic. Now I want you to imagine a beautiful sunset with whatever colours are going on, and just feel the serenity and how amazing it is to be on this gorgeous planet of ours. And hold. Okay, so now on the left hemisphere of the brain, we've got both logic and gestalt up and running. Okay, so 7 times 7 minus 3 plus 12. Hold. Okay, so there's no logic in the right hemisphere, but that's not the hemisphere that it's supposed to be. I just thought I'd check. Now I want you to imagine a bouquet of flowers with gorgeous colours, smelling really, really fragrant and beautiful. And hold. Beautiful. Okay, so we've got logic and gestalt on the left side of the brain, and we've got gestalt on the right side of the brain. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, that's perfect. Well, when Linda and I first learned Leap, going back, I don't know, 25 years ago, whenever it was, she was double logic and I was double gestalt. And we learnt 100% differently from each other. Like, it was amazing because you looked at our lives and that was our lives as well. And yeah, very cool. Yeah, she rang me up yesterday. She's sort of she's been to this practitioner in New Zealand who does some really interesting parasympathetic nervous system reset. Anyway, it was very, very interesting. Okay. I think we are done, Caitriona. So, hope that really feels like it resonates with you. That felt big. So, we went through so many layers there, and
Layers, indeed.
layers indeed. So, first, second, third layers of stress, the psychological reversal stuff, the logic creative hemispheres of the brain. Make sure the lots of different chakras, the 13th chakra. So it doesn't show up very often, but don't forget, I choose. Make a list, make a big list. I choose. What do you choose? You know, because positive energy is so much more powerful than all that negative stuff, the shame, the blame, the guilt, all of that stuff. We don't need it. Don't need it. And if you go, I think we've chatted about this, but if we start the day with gratitude and go to bed with forgiveness, both of those are so powerful because forgiveness isn't about them. Forgiveness is about us and our health and our nervous system. So bedtime forgiveness, it actually allows the brain it gets that lymphatic system in the brain up and running so that we can detox our brain overnight. So forgiveness at bedtime, gratitude in the morning. Really good way to start and finish your day. Thank you, Reenee-Jee.
My pleasure.
Thanks, Caitriona. Talk to you soon, love. Bye.